Today in this video we will be performing the experiment of biprism. Biprism is a device which is used to produce interference pattern, and this works on the principle of division of wavefront, because if we want to produce interference we need two coherent sources, and to get two coherent sources there are two ways. One is by the division of amplitude. The example is Newton's ring, which we have already done, which we know how to do it. And second is division of wavefront. So Young's double slit is the example of division of wavefront, which you have already studied in class 12th. The second way is biprism. So today we will be doing the experiment with biprism, and obviously when the two sources are produced, interference will be produced. Interference pattern is going to get produced, that is the consecutive dark and bright fringes are going to get produced. In this experiment we will try to find the fringe width of the interference pattern produced by the biprism. And fringe width, as you know, is basically the separation between two consecutive maxima or two consecutive minima. So that we have to determine. So let us start doing this experiment. So we have this instrument for performing the experiment of biprism. As you can see, this is an optical bench. This is an optical bench and calibrated in millimeters. Then there is a source of light which produces a monochromatic light. That monochromatic light falls on a slit, narrow slit, vertical slit, and this is the upright holding this slit. Then the next upright is holding the nodal slide assembly, the biprism assembly, it is the biprism assembly, and here we mount the biprism. I am going to show you separately. Then the next mount is holding a lens, and the last upright holds the eyepiece. This is the eyepiece from where we see the pattern, and this eyepiece, as you can see, is attached to a screw gauge, a scale, to measure the separation between the fringes. So these are 5 uprights. First is holding the lamp, second holding the narrow slit, third holding the biprism assembly, fourth holding the lens, and fifth, ultimately the last, holding the eyepiece. So that's all about the instrument. And now we are going to see one by one individual uprights and what is there to know. So one by one we are observing the apparatus. This, as I told you, is the source. This is the casing for the source, which encapsulates the source, and inside this there is a sodium vapor lamp, and sodium vapor lamp emits yellow light. You can see the light coming out of the source here. Now the second one is the slit. This one is the slit. This upright is holding the slit. I am going to show you how the slit is going to be seen, how the light is going to be seen after it passes the slit. So let us see the slit here. Can you see the slit? When the light comes out of the slit, the light looks like this. It is a narrow slit, vertical slit, which is visible here on the screen. Now the third assembly is this upright for holding the biprism. In this you see this specific screw. This screw is used to align the edge of the biprism vertical. This screw is used, and the motion is very fine, So very fine adjustment is done with the help of this screw. Then if you see the front portion of this, you can see the biprism here. Can you see this? This is the biprism. The biprism is kept here. This is the biprism. This is the biprism. 1, 2 and 3 are the holders between this base, and 2 horizontal holders. They hold this biprism. At the same time, there is this screw which can be, I can untight these screws and move the biprism in the vertical plane, or the motion is horizontal, so that the slit and the edge of the biprism, they come in one line. So this is all about the biprism holder assembly. Then third is this lens. This is the upright holding the lens. You can see it from this side. This one is the lens, and this lens is having the focal length approximately equal to 20 centimeter. The fourth and the fifth and the last upright, which was holding the eyepiece, you can see this is the eyepiece. From here we see the image of the two sources, and this is attached to a screw gauge. This is the screw gauge having main scale here and the head scale or the circular scale here. While finding the reading, we will be explaining this again. So this is the eyepiece assembly. So that's all about the instrument. Now let us try to see how we do the experiment, how we perform the experiment, how we start taking reading and all other things. As I told you that when a single slit, that is a narrow single slit, the light from that slit falls on the biprism. The biprism divides it into two virtual sources. So now I am going to show you how one source is divided into two different sources. So see here, this is a single slit. It is not double slit, a single slit. Light is falling on this biprism, and we are going to see what we can see from here. That is from the after the light passes through the biprism. So let us see what we can see here in the form of slit. See the two sources, the two different sources you can see here. These are the two virtual sources. The single slit has been divided into two. I am moving the position of my eye, and I can see the two sources, two different sources. So these are the two sources. So one source got converted into two. So as I told you, that biprism has divided one single source into two sources. So whenever these two sources, the light from two sources moves in the same direction and they are coherent, then they produce interference pattern. So just to show you that the same interference pattern is getting produced here, I have removed the lens. Upright holding the lens has been removed. There is a single slit, the biprism assembly holding the biprism, and the eyepiece, and with the help of eyepiece from here we can see the interference pattern. And let me try to show you the same interference pattern. So I am showing you the interference pattern obtained. So this is the interference pattern obtained using biprism. You can see consecutive dark and bright fringes in the yellow background. So this is the interference pattern produced by the biprism. Now we are going to start the experiment. As you have seen that the fringes were very near to each other, they are very close to each other, and with the help of this eyepiece and the interference pattern, it becomes very difficult to find the fringe width. It is very tough to measure the fringe width because they are very close to each other, and that's why we use the UV method for determination of the fringe width. In the UV method, basically we try to get the separation between the two virtual sources. As I told you that the sources are virtual, so we cannot locate their position, and when we cannot locate their position, it is impossible to find the separation between the two. And as far as the formula is concerned, formula says that the fringe width is equal to lambda capital D upon 2D, where capital D is the separation between the screen and the source, that is virtual source, and 2D is the separation between the virtual sources. So D can be measured with the help of this bench, optical bench. Lambda we are already knowing. One thing which we have to know is the separation between the two virtual sources, and for that we are going to opt for the method of UV method, in which the object and image's position can be interchanged. So let us do the UV method for finding 2D. So first of all, we have to set the position of the slit and the screen, relative position. As I told you that this lens is having the focal length of 20 centimeter, and if you want to have the displacement method to be used for finding 2D, the essential condition is the separation between the slit and the screen, that is eyepiece, it must be more than 4f, 4 times the focal length. So 4 times the focal length becomes equal to 80 centimeter. So obviously the separation between the slit and the eyepiece must be larger than 80 centimeter. Now you are seeing this 100 is basically the position of the eyepiece. You can see this is the eyepiece. So position of eyepiece is 100 centimeter. Position of slit is at 100 centimeter. So this is the 100 centimeter mark. This is the position of the slit, single slit, cross slit. Now we move to the position of the eyepiece, and you can see this is the upright holding the eyepiece. This is the eyepiece. So the position of the eyepiece can be seen here. It is 15 centimeter. If you can see it, the position of eyepiece is 15 centimeter. The eyepiece position is 15 centimeter. You can see it here. This is the position of the eyepiece, and position of the eyepiece is seen with this mark. So this is 15 centimeter. So the total separation between the slit and the screen, that is eyepiece, is 85 centimeter. So this is the first setting. Now after doing so, what we do is we keep the upright holding the lens. This is the lens holder upright is here. We insert it in between the biprism assembly and the eyepiece. Between these two we have introduced a lens. Now what we are going to do is we are going to keep this lens very near to the biprism, and now I am going to slide it slowly from the position of biprism up to the screen in this way. I am going to slide it, and I am going to see the interference pattern produced by the biprism with the help of the eyepiece. What I am going to find is, what I am going to see is, I am going to see that as I move this lens from biprism to the eyepiece, there are going to be the two different positions in which I am going to get the clear, distinct and focused image of the two different sources. In two different positions I am going to get two different focused images of the sources, and I have to find the separation between the two sources in those two positions. So let me show you how, when I move this lens, you are going to see the interference pattern getting converted to the image of the two sources. So let us say, when the lens is very near to the biprism, this will be the what we look from this eyepiece. Now we start moving the lens away from that, and you can see that how it is getting converted to two different sources. You can see this is the focused image of two different sources for one position of the lens when the lens is near to biprism. Now again we move it towards the eyepiece. See, again the image is defocused, and slowly we go on moving, and you can find again the two separate, distinct and focused image of the source. So in these two positions, the separation between the two sources that is to be determined, means we have to keep the vertical crosswire once in one image, take the position of the screw gauge, and then we have to move it to the position of the second image. Crosswire is focused on the second image, and then you can find the position of the second slit, and that will be the slit separation P1 and P2 that we have to find. So this is the first position of the lens when the lens is near to the biprism and we are getting two focused images. I have kept the crosswire, exactly the vertical crosswire, on the first slit, that is the right hand side slit, and now we are going to take the position of the screw gauge for that specific slit. So now you can see the reading in the main scale reading. In the main scale, here is the main scale. In the main scale, the position, that is the division which has been crossed by this head scale, is 7.5. And this is the reference line of this. This is the reference line of for the head scale, and 25th division, 26th division, even 27th division has been crossed. So the head scale reading is 27 and main scale reading is 7.5 for one slit, for the first position of the lens when the lens is very near to the biprism. Now I am moving the crosswire from first slit to the second slit. You can see the crosswire is moving from first slit to the second slit. When it will be on the second slit, again we are going to take the reading. So that will be the slit separation between these two slits. Now the crosswire is on the second slit. Again we are going to take the reading. Now we start moving the lens towards the eyepiece, and we will try to get the second position of the lens, for which we get the sharp image, distinct image of the two sources and focused image of the two sources. As you can see, yes, here we get the sharp image of the two slits. We try to move the lens a bit further or in the backward direction to see. This is the sharp image of the slit. In this position, again we have to use the crosswire to find the separation between the two slits by bringing the crosswire, vertical crosswire, to one slit. We read the position of, we take the reading of the screw gauge, and then we bring the crosswire to the second slit's image, and then again we take the reading, and in this way we get the distance or the separation between the two sources at the second position, and that is the value of P2. In the first position, the separation between the slit was larger, and in the second position the slit separation is a bit narrower. That is obvious when we do this experiment. So by doing this we get the value of P1 and P2. Now let us see the readings taken in the experiment of finding fringe width of the interference pattern produced by biprism. Because we are using the measuring instrument here, which is screw gauge, so obviously we had to take the least count of the screw gauge. And the least count is basically pitch divided by number of total division on the head scale. And that's why we have determined pitch here. We have given the head scale a certain number of rotation, that is denoted by n, and we had given the number of rotation equal to 4. Then the distance traveled for those rotation, I have shown it by x, so it was 2 mm. So pitch is the total distance traveled divided by number of division, x divided by n. So this is the pitch of the screw, which is y, which is equal to x divided by n, that is 2 divided by 4, which becomes equal to 0.5 mm. Then the total number of divisions on the head scale, I am denoting it by m. This is equal to 50. So the least count of the screw gauge, which is the pitch divided by total number of division, y upon m, it becomes equal to 0.01 mm or 0.001 centimeter. Now, we have taken the reading. We are having two tables here. First table is the table 1 for P1, that is the separation between the image for the first position of the lens. The second table is same, but it is for P2, that is size of the image due to the second position of the lens. So this is for first position, this is for second position. So for the first position, when the crosswire was on the first image, then the reading was, main scale was 2.5, circular scale 6. 6 multiplied by 0.01 becomes equal to 0.06. 0.6 added with 2.5 becomes equal to 2.56. Similarly, when the crosswire is shifted to the second image, then the main scale reading is 7, circular scale reading is 29, so the total reading becomes equal to 7.29. When 7.29 subtracts 2.56, we get the size of the image, and size of the image for the first position of the lens is in millimeter, it is 4.73 millimeter. For the second position of the lens, you can see when the crosswire is focused on the first image, then first slit image, then it is main scale 0.5, circular scale 4.2, so the total reading is 0.92 mm. For the second slits image, the main scale reading is 2.5, circular scale reading is 1, so it is 2.51. So 2.51 subtracts 0.92, we get the value of P2, which is equal to 1.59. Now the separation between the slit, that is slit and eyepiece, means slit and screen, the separation between this, as we have shown you that the position of the source, that is slit, is at 100 centimeter and the position of the eyepiece is at 15 centimeter. So the separation between these two becomes equal to 85 centimeter. Now see the calculation part of this experiment. The formula we are going to use, we have already determined the value of P1, P2 and the separation between the two virtual sources, that is 2D. 2D is equal to square root of P1 and P2. P1 multiplied by P2, whatever comes, we take the root of it. Second is the formula for beta, that is fringe width, which is equal to lambda capital D divided by 2D. Capital D is the distance between the screen and the source, and 2D is the separation between the two virtual sources. So we calculate the value of 2D. 2D is equal to square root of, as we have find the reading, it is 0. The value of reading in mm is 4.73. So we converted it into centimeter, so it is 0.473 multiplied by, it was 1.59 mm converted into centimeter, to write it as 0.159. We multiply it and take the root of it. What we get is 0.274 centimeter. It is the value of 2D. Now we know the value of lambda, value of capital D and value of 2D. So we can calculate beta. We put the value of lambda because it is yellow light, sodium vapor lamps light. So its lambda is 5890 angstroms converted into centimeter, multiplied by 85 centimeter, divided by 0.274 centimeter. which comes to be equal to 0.0182 centimeter or 1.82 into 10 raised to minus 2 centimeter. So in this way we obtain the value of the fringe width, which was a bit tough job when it is to be performed by counting the fringes and getting the separation of them and then dividing the total number of fringes to get the fringe width. That was a tough job, but with the help of this method very easily we can calculate the fringe width. So that's all in this experiment.